Hello guys, welcome to today's class. In today's class, we'll be talking about the methods to solve algebraic and transcendental equation. In the last class, we have discussed bisection method, and in this class, we'll be talking about regular false method and secant method. Right? These two methods are very similar, sir. So that let us club them in one lecture and do it. So the regular false method is also called as method of false position, or it is also called as method of chords. It is also called as method of chords. It is also a very simple method, sir. If I want to write the first point, simple method as bisection. With order of convergence of 1. This also has same order of convergence with 1 as order of convergence. But see, sir, what is the difference? If you want to see the second point, this also obeys. This method also follows your intermediate value theorem. So what does it follow? It follows your intermediate value theorem, that is IVT. Very good. That means how many initial values you need? Say you need 2 initial values. So let me take up something like this. So what do we do in this method is, see sir, I will run you through the method. If it is like this, say this is your f of x, some function given to you, and say this is your x, and say your f of x is like this. Say your f of x is, say, something like this is there, sir, right? Say this is your what? This is your a, this will be your f of a, this is your b, say this will be your f of b. Now it has to follow what? It has to follow your intermediate value theorem. So one of it has to be positive, the other has to be negative. Now see sir, what we do? We will make a point here. What is this point? This is a comma f of a. And what will be this point? This point will be b comma f of b. Right? Then what do? We basically draw a line joining these 2 points. Draw a line joining these 2 points. I'll call this as a chord, right? And we will see where is this chord meeting the x position, right? Where is this chord meeting the x axis? I will call that as x1, right? And I will find fx1. Is fx1 0, sir? Is fx1 0? See, if you put f of x1 in your f of x, you will not get it as 0. This is what some value it is having, right? Then what will I do next? Then I will take this point and this point, because between these two fellows intermediate value theorem will not agree, but between these two fellows it agrees. So I will draw another chord here and I will call this as x2, right? And see what is f of x2. Your f of x2 is here. This is your f of x2. This point, sir. This is your f of x2. This is your f of x1. So between x1 and a there will not be root, but between x1 and x2 there will be a root. So then I will do what? Then I will take up another these 2 points and I will draw like. So here approximately it touches it, and if you find f of x1 it will become 0, right? So what is the algorithm for this? The algorithm is you start with 2 points. You start with 2 points, right? So let me write the algorithm. The third step, algorithm to find root. Algorithm to find root. This is what is the algorithm? Form a line. Take the 2 points a comma f of a and the other point is b comma f of b, right? Form a chord joining these 2 points. That's why it's called as method of chord, right? Line joining You can say line joining. I will call this as say P1, P2. Line joining P1, P2 is, he said, how can I write the equation of the line? Y minus, I will call this as x1, this as y1, this is x2, this is y2. So y minus y1 f of a is equal to y2 minus y1 fb minus fa divided by x2 minus x1, that is b minus a into x minus x1. Right? Now I have to find what? Now I have to find what? I have to find x1. Right? The first value. Right? Let me call this as equation 1. Let me call this as equation 1. To get x1, put y is equal to 0 in equation 1. What we have to do, sir? To get x1, what you have to do? You put y is equal to 0 in equation 1. So, see, sir, what will you get? You will get 0 minus f of a is equal to f of b minus f of a divided by b minus a into what will this x become now? That x will become x1. That will become x1 minus a. So, let us find the value of x1 from here. The value of x1 will be, just cross multiply this, sir. So, x1 will be equal to, you cross multiply this, that will become minus b into f of a plus a into f of a divided by f of b into f of a, f of b minus f of a plus a. This, sir, what did I do? I just multiplied it here. I divided this, then I sent this a here. Right? So, see what will be your x1 finally? It will be, if you multiply this, minus b into f of a plus a into f of a plus a into f of b minus a into f of a whole divided by f of b minus f of a. So, see what will your x1 be finally? Your x1 will be, see, so this a f of a gets cancelled. This will become a into f of b minus b into f of a divided by f of b minus f of a, f of b minus f of a. Right? This is what your x1 is. Then what you have to do, sir? Then you have to do find fx1, find f of x1. If f of x1 is equal to 0, which implies x1 is root, which implies x1 is root, isn't it? But if f of x1 is not equal to 0, if f of x1 is not equal to 0, then what you have to do, sir? Then find, say, f of x1 into f of a and f of x1 into f of b. In both these things, one will be greater than 0, the other will be less than 0. Right here, if you see, sir, what is happening? In this example, if you see, f of a is positive, f of x1 is what? F of x1 is negative. So, this is positive into negative, what you will get it as? You will get it as negative. So, f of a into x1, in this particular example, if you see, this is coming as negative and this is coming as positive. That is coming as negative, this is coming as positive. That means root lies between them. Root lies between what and what, sir? Root lies between a comma x1, isn't it? Root lies between what and what? It lies between a comma x1. So again, what I have to do, sir? Next I have to do something like this. Next I have to do a comma f of a, x1 comma f of x1. form line, form equation of line joining above 2 points. Then what you have to do, sir? Then in that line, what you have to do? In that line, put y is equal to 0 to get what, sir? To get x2, right? In that line, whichever you have done, in that you put y is equal to 0 to get x2. Then what you have to do? Then check f of x2. Say your f of x2 is equal to 0 or say it is not equal to 0. Say if your f of x2 is equal to 0, then what you will declare, sir? You will declare that x2 is root, which implies x2 is root, right? If it is not equal to 0, then what do you do, sir? Then you will do f of x1 into f of x2 and f of a into f of x2. Like this you will do. Among this, what you have to happen? One of that will become positive, the other will become negative, right? Say this is becoming negative and say this is becoming positive. I am just saying let, because if I choose from this particular problem, see, sir, when you found x1 and a, you have found the line, sir. So you got x2. So x2 was coming positive. So f of x1 and f of x2 are coming basically negative, and f of x2 and f of a are basically positive. This is positive, this is positive. So that is why I am taking like this here. According to that figure, this is what is happening. If this happens, then what you do? Then what you do is something like this. Then you take the 2 points. You can write here that if this is coming negative like this, root exists between these fellows. Root exists between them. Between whom and whom? Between x1 and x2. So what do you do, sir? You'll have to again do the same thing. You will have to take x1 comma fx1, then x2 comma fx2. Then what, sir? Line joining above points. Line joining above points. After the line joining above points, what you have to do, sir? To get y3, to get x3, sir. To get x3, what you have to do? Put y is equal to 0 in above line. In above line, you do this, sir. If you do this, what will you get? You will get x3. Then check. Then what you have to do? Check fx3. If this is equal to 0, declare it as root. If it is not equal to 0, then again same condition goes on, right? So every time you have to do the same thing. You have to find 2 points, then form a line. In that line you put y is equal to 0 and you find x, that x will be next iteration, right? So this is how you have to basically find. Why is this called as false position? That means we are assuming this root is here. That is basically false positions. That's why this method is called method of false position or method of chords or regular falsy method, right? What is the order of convergence, sir? 1 is the order of convergence for this, right? So here if you want to remember, one way to remember the formula is like this. Say if I want xn plus 1. Say if I want xn plus 1. These are what you have to do it. If you want xn plus 1, that would be xn into xn minus 1 minus xn minus 1 into fxn divided by fxn minus 1 minus fxn. This is how you have to remember this. See how I have to remember this also, I'll tell you. See, if you wanted C point or say x1 point, what did we get for x1 point, sir? We basically wanted x1. So how did you get x1? The formula for x1 is basically a into f of b minus b into f of a divided by f of b minus f of a, f of b minus f of a, or this can also be written as b into f of a minus a into f of b divided by f of a minus f of b. This is basically your x1. These are same things. These are basically the same things. So see how to remember this formula, because you just take minus common from here, you'll get the same thing. So whatever you're writing xn, you want xn plus 1. So you'll need xn minus 1. So if you multiply with xn, you write xn minus 1, and you have to multiply with xn minus 1, you have to write fxn divided by whatever is fxn minus 1, same x fxn minus 1, fxn, right? See, same thing which we have written here. Here, what was there, sir? Where will this go? Yeah, it was here, sorry. A into fb minus b into fa by fa minus fb minus fa. So similarly, a into fb minus b into fa by fb minus fa. If you take minus common, b into fa minus a into fb by fa minus fb, right? So this is the way you remember the iterative formula. What is this, sir? Iterative formula. This is iterative formula for what, sir? This is for your regular falsy method. This is for your regular falsy method. Now let us see what is secant methods. Secant method is actually same as regular falsy method, but there is a slight modification. Let me tell you what is that modification. If we see the next one, that is secant methods. Secant method. That is basically what? Secant method. Secant method, actually the point is like this. Secant method is just slight modification of your regular falsy method only. So we'll study it together. First point is this method does not follow. This method does not follow intermediate value theorem. This method does not follow intermediate value theorem. That is the IVT, sir. This method does not follow intermediate value theorem. Sir, if this does not follow intermediate value theorem, then how are we going to find the next iterations? I'll tell you that. Since it does not follow the intermediate value theorem, solution is not guaranteed. Solution is not guaranteed. But if at all it converges, right? Every time there is no guarantee that you will get the solution, but if at all it converges, third point is if it converges to a solution, if it converges to a solution, its rate of convergence, this is important, sir, its rate of convergence is 1.62. This you will have to remember, sir. Rate of convergence of secant method is what? 1.62. It does not converge. Convergence is not guaranteed, but if at all it converges, this is what is the rate, right? This is the third point. The fourth point is it uses the iterative formula of, it uses what, sir? It uses the iterative formula of regular falsy method. Regular falsy method. That means, see, sir, what will happen here, I'll tell you. See, that is We know that f of x is equal to 0 in the interval say a comma b, right? Whenever you want to find x1, x1 will be what, sir? X1 will be basically what? Using regular false, we will have to apply this formula a into f of b minus b into f of a divided by fb minus fa. The first step is same in both regular false and secant method. This is step 1. This is step 1. In which method? The secant method. In secant method, if you want to do the second step, it need not follow intermediate value theorem, right? So step 2 will be like this. Your step 2 will be, your interval will be changed to what? Your interval will be changed to x1 comma b, right? So what will be your x2, sir? This will be x1 comma b. So your x2 will be x1 into f of b minus b into f of x1 divided by f of b minus f of x1. So we don't check what, sir? We don't check intermediate value theorem. We'll fix any one thing, right? Which one will fix, sir? When we find f of a into f of b, whichever is least, whichever is close to 0, we'll fix that, right? We'll fix that and we'll be changing the other variable. That's why it may or may not converge. So what will be the step 3, sir? Similarly, if you take step 3, the step 3 will be like this. That will be same f of x equal to 0. Now the interval will become x2 comma b, right? So what will your x3 be? Your x3 be x2 into f of b minus b into fx2 divided by fb minus fx, and then so on. You just keep on going like this. You fix the b. First step is same in both your secant method as well as regular false method. For the second step, third step, fourth step, you fix any one variable and you keep on changing the other variable. Which variable to fix, sir? When you find f of a and f of b, whichever is least or whichever is close to 0, you fix that, right? This is applied only when the root is very close, right? Say if you do f of a and f of b, that is coming as say 0.000800005. That means the root is very close. So you need not check your intermediate value theorem. You just go on applying this method. It may or may not come. If it comes, if it converges, then what is the rate of convergence? The rate of convergence is 1.62, right? So this is why it is done, right? So this is the secant method which you will have to understand. The iterative formula is same as this only, sir. Now let us take some problems and let us do it. If I take up a problem, see, sir, what is the problem? The problem says something like this. Say I am asking you, find the real root of the equation find the real root of equation say 3x plus sin x minus e power x. What is that equation, sir? 3x plus sin x minus e power x is equal to 0. Very good. By the method of false position, corrected to 4 decimals. Corrected to how many decimals, sir? 4 decimals. See, sir, how do we do this? Solution. So what is your f of x, sir? Your f of x is basically, I told you whenever you get sin x, you will have to apply in radius only, but in between you're putting in calci, make sure it is in radians, or you convert it into degrees and you supply. So this is 3x plus sin x minus e power x. This is equal to 0, sir. Right? Now let us find certain values, f of a, f of b. Like we'll have to get two values, sir. So if we let me find f of 0, see sir, what will you get? That is 0, 0, that you're getting as minus 1, isn't it? Because 0, 0, e power 0, 1 you'll get. Let us find f of 0.1. If I want to find f of 0.1, 3 into 0.1 plus sine into 0.1 into 180 by pi. 180 by pi minus e power 0.1. See sir, if you calculate this, what will you get? This you will get it as 0.3 plus sine 0.1 into 180 divided by pi minus e power 0.1. So basically coming, this also is coming as 0.705. This is also negative. So between these two fellows, it does not occur. Let me take one more step forward and let me put 0.3. If I put 0.33 into 0.3 plus sine of 0.3 into 180 divided by pi minus e into 0.3. So see sir, what will you get? This also is coming as negative, but 0.14, right? So let me take one more step forward and let me take 0.4. In exam, he will give you, but I'm just moving a bit closely so that we'll get the answer easily. 0.4 plus sine into 0.4 into 180 divided by pi minus e power 0.4. Right? So see sir, what will this become? This will become 0.4, 0.4, 3 into 0.4. This is coming up to be 0.0975. That means we have got some values. What did we get here? We got f of 0.3 as how much? F of 0.3 as negative and f of 0.4 as how much, sir? That as positive, right? Which implies, what is the meaning of this? The meaning is, which implies root exists. A root exists between 0.3 and 0. So how do you find that root? You have to form a line. You have to form a line using, first step is what? Form a line. Using which points you have to use, sir? You have to use 0.3 comma, what did you get for 0.3? Minus 0.154. Minus 0.154 and what is the other point you got? The other point is 0.4 comma minus, no, this is plus 0.0975, right? Using these 2 points, if I want to find the next iteration, somehow I know the formula readily. So the formula is what, sir? X1 is equal to A into f of b minus b into f of a divided by fb minus fa. You just do this fb minus fa. So see sir, what is the value of A? A is 0.3. And what is the value of FB? That is 0.0975. 0.0975. Minus what is the value of B? B is 0.4. 0.4. And what is the value of F of A? Minus 0.154. minus 0.154 whole divided by what, sir? Whole divided by 0.0975 minus 0.154. So see, sir, what will you get this x1 as? You will get it as you will get this as 0.36123, right? Since he's asking up to 4 decimals corrected value, we have to write at least 5 and see the last 4 has to remain constant, right? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I have written, and let me write this as 3, right? Now let us find what will be f of x1. How do you find f of x1, sir? That is 3 into x1 plus sine x1 minus e power x1. Isn't it? That is what is my f of x. If you just see carefully, this is what is my f of x. Now we have to take this f of x and put here. So if I do this, see, sir, what will I get? 3 into 0.36123 plus sine, you have to do 0.361233 into, you have to do 180 by pi. So don't forget that 180 by pi minus e power 0.361233. If you do this, you will get it as 2.0201 into 10 power of minus 3, right? You will get it as this. Right. So if you get it as this, then see what you have to do. Your f of x1 is basically greater than 0. And what was from here, sir? From here, if you see, this was greater than 0. That means root exists between what? Which implies root exists between which fellow and which fellow? 0.3 comma, what did you get here? 0.36123. 361233, right? Now what is the FB of this fellow? For 0.3, the F value was how much? 0.145 minus 0.154, and for this, what is the value, sir? This is 2.021 into 10 power of minus 3, and then so on is there, but let me concatenate it. Now I have to form a equation of line, that is x2 I have to form. See, sir, x2 will be what? X2 will be using these 2 points I have to find. That is basically x1 into, so let me directly write this value, sir. Here basically this will be AF of A, BF of B, right? So that is A, that is 0.3 into, what is FB, sir? That is 2.021 into 10 power of minus 3 minus, see, sir, what you will get here? B, what is B? 0.361233. 0.361233 into minus 0.154 whole divided by, here what will you get? 2.021 into 10 power minus 3 minus 0.154. So if you just calculate this, see, sir, what will you get? 0.3 into 2.021 into 10 power minus 3 minus, that will actually become plus 0.361233 into 0.154 divided by, this will become 2.021 into 10 power minus 3, that would become plus 0.154. So see sir, this will become 0.3604. This will become what? 0.3604. And what was x1? My x1 was 0.361. So if you see the meaning, the convergence meaning of order of convergence is 1 or 2. The meaning is what, sir? From first step, what was the first thing you got here? 0.3, right? When you did first step, your 0.3 was fixed and 0.361 came. Next for the second step, 0.36 is as it is. That means till step 2, you have acquired a 2 decimal accuracy, because she said the 0.36 and the 0.36 is same here. Now if you want to have 4 decimal accuracy, then you have to do actually 4 steps. So let us do, sir. It will take a bit time, but we will try to do it and get it, sir. So here we got 0.361233. Here you got 0.3604. 39 something is there, but let me write as 4. Now if you calculate fx2, see sir, what will I get it? Let me do it directly. That is 3 times what is this value? 0.36044 plus sine 0.36044 into 180 divided by pi minus e power 0.36044, isn't it? It is plus or minus, just let me check that. Plus only. So if you do this, you will get it as 4.57755 into 10 power of minus 5. So see sir, this is becoming almost 0, your fx2. That means you are very near to the root, sir. So your fx2 is positive. And this is negative, sir. This is negative. So root exists between what, sir? Therefore, root exists between 0.3 comma this one, sir, 0.36044. And what is the f of the value of f for this? What is the value of f for this, sir? It is minus 0.154. And what's the value of substitution of this? That is 4.57755 into 10 power of minus 5. So if I do x3, this if I want to do x3, what will I get? My x3 will be 0.3 into 4.57755, isn't it? 4.57755 into 10 power of minus 5 minus, what is this, sir? This is 0.3644, 0.36044 into minus 0.154 divided by, what will you get here in the denominator? That is 4.57755 into 10 power of minus 5 minus 0.154. So if you calculate this x3, see sir, what will you get? If you calculate this, you will get it as 0.3 into 4.57755 into 10 power minus 5, that will become initially plus 0.36044 into 0.154 divided by 4.57755 into 10 to the power of minus 5 plus 0.154. This you will get it as 0.3604, right? So till here you can stop. Till here you can stop because you have achieved. This will actually be 422 is coming, sir. So 4 decimal accuracy you got till here. See, these 4 decimals are repeated. These 4 decimals are repeated. Since I am taking more values here, sir, I am taking 555 like this, all values I am taking. That's why in third iteration only you got the convergence, right? So 4 decimal accuracy means last 2 or last here you got 2 decimal accuracy, right? So this is the meaning of 4 decimal accuracy and 3 decimal accuracy. So this is how you apply false position method. If for the same problem you wanted to apply your say secant method, what will you do, sir? You will fix here actually the secant method. If you see, this is minus 0.154 and this is 0.0954. So you have fixed 0.4 and 0.9, this 0.4 and 0.9, 0.0975 you have fixed, and whatever value of x1 and x2 you are getting, you have replaced with this, right? Then you have continued the iterations, right? So let me take a problem on the secant method in the previous year problem. Let me take and let us do it there, sir. So let me stop this here, and here you have understood how to apply your secant method and your regular falsity method and what's the meaning of 4 decimal accuracy, right? So let us meet in the next class. Thank you, sir. So that was the lecture, sir. I hope you enjoyed the lecture and gained some knowledge. For more content like this, please subscribe to our channel Octomy and also like and share it with your friends. And if you have any valuable feedback or doubts, you can always write down in the comments. And to watch my entire playlist and the full course, please enroll with us. Thank you, sir.